Oops, no one heard that. Part 3. Let's start mixing. So here's how we're mixing. This is Studio One, my favorite mixing program. I know it does everything, but I don't know how to make a beat in this, to be honest. And I'm like, I'm not going to even try to learn because I have FL Studio, and for making beats, I can't think of anything better, right? But for mixing, I sure can't think of anything better than Studio One. So here we have our SSL 4000E console here from Brainworks. You could get away with the Waves one, but it just does. The Waves one just kind of has the EQ and the compressor like the SSL, and they throw a little harmonics in it, but you don't get tolerance modeling and some of the extra shaping that goes on in the Brainworks one to give it more of that true to life analog SSL sound of this particular console. But you can get away with it. I mean, you can make a Waves mix if you know what you're doing that would sound probably almost the same as using this. But I mostly like the workflow of this one better, and the fact that I can switch between black and brown knob, even though I never use the brown knob. I guess it's just nice to know I have it. And it uses a whole lot less CPU than EV2. Also, for a little extra, that we need a summing engine here. So this is a Studio One summing engine, Brit Console with default Brit, which is for emulating the SSL 4000. Probably the E series, considering that they also have G style in here. So that means G style means G series. I'm assuming if it's not G series, then it's going to be E series. So either way, doesn't matter. But I mean, it's going to have the character of the SSL 4000s just on your buses and your channels anyway, on top of what the plugin's already doing. So the more the merrier, the more realistic, and the better that it's continuing to give some kind of vibe to the sound that makes it sound less digital. Because if you're making boom bap music, you don't want it to sound all weird and digital. Digital's clean, but digital can be very harsh. Digital can be very unpleasing to listen to. And yeah, we're in the box, but we don't want it to sound digital. We want to. The thing that we missed from the analog gear was the harmonics and the character, the tolerances and non-linearities and stuff. So in this case here, these plugins and with this whole setup here, you're getting lots of non-linearities, lots of harmonics, and just so much good stuff going to the ear. I'm not putting the tape on yet. I'm going to do that at the end because I don't want to mix with the tape on. I want to mix, and then we're going to print to the tape machine, and we're not going to be able to hear what that effect is while we're doing it, per se, until the tape machine is basically on and ready to go. And we'd be using master tape for this. So let's start with our kick drum and let's go. Okay, mix is done. Yeah, so let me tell you what I did real quick. So as you saw, I mixed with the SSL 4000E. Usually I like to mix into the compressor because that's how you get more of the SSL sound. So I always flip the pre-dynamics button on, which means it puts the EQ before the dynamics. And then here, just double check, make sure I haven't accidentally turned that off or anything, my summing. Here we have the bus compressor, cross eyes, number 2 ratio, and then just apply threshold till you have 2 decibels gain reduction. God particle brought the input gain back into the green, and then the output gain I put at negative 6.7, and then into the tape machine, which now is on half-inch 2-track tape. That's stereo track tape. That's your master tape. So it's half-inch master tape, and the formula is a different formula, which is default. So when I was going to the 16-track tape, everything was flipped up. So I was using FG456. That's for my 2-inch 16-track tape, and then for the master tape, it's half-inch 2-track tape, FG9 formula. I left the speed and the bias alone. Normal bias, 30 IPS speed, and that's it. And so I can just go ahead and render this. So I'm going to go ahead and render it now. Boom, bap. God, I keep hitting the caps lock button all the time. Heaven 3 mix. We notice this is the mix, not the master. Okay, and here in a minute we're going to go to part 4, which will be the mastering video. And like I said, I have a no nonsense, very quick and easy mastering method, and we're done. So we're almost done here. Part 4 coming in a little bit. So while this is rendering, I guess I'll talk with you guys just a little bit more. So what we did here at this stage here, this is the mix stage. We're mixing into an SSL console, and then printing to master tape. Now this mix will have all the goodies that we just did here baked into the sound, and then we got to go to mastering, and we're not going to use ozone. We're going to use a analog emulation for mastering. So you're gonna love that and the way that sounds. If you watch my other video, you already know how it sounds, but if you haven't and you've made it this far to part 3, part 4 is coming very soon. Now you notice this is pretty quick and easy. I mean, this was a kind of a bigger session than what I typically have for a beat, but I had a lot of stuff going on. And I mean, it's not big. It was 12 tracks, 12 track sessions, just fine, you know. And yeah, but it sounded like there was more than 12 tracks going on. I mean, we also had a break beat, which basically already had some drums and snares and hats and stuff like that in there, and then built on top of that with some extra ones to kind of give it a little bit more, you know, in your face punch and clarity. And then you know, then the instrumentation that was built around that, and the samples. Okay, well anyway, let's get on to the mastering video. All right, and that's starting now.